Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.24. At the time I'm making this video, XRP is dipping down a little bit, and we are still following Bitcoin. You know, everybody thinks that it's just XRP dipping down all the time. We are following the rest of the market right now. And a lot of big news dropped today as well, which I'm going to talk about in this video. But even Zena pointed out in this article that news is no longer moving the price of XRP. So despite this, XRP's price has remained relatively stable, currently trading around $2.30. Zena's take comes against this backdrop. She expressed disbelief that so many people can't see what's happening right in front of them. In her view, the market isn't reacting to news like it used to, as strong developments don't lead to instant price jumps anymore. She pointed out that this is not just the case with XRP, but with most major cryptocurrencies these days. Zena believes this lull has deceived people into thinking XRP will always stay this low. She strongly disagrees. To her, the ongoing changes, especially the growing role of institutions, are setting the stage for a big move. I think what's going on is this. XRP used to move every time good news dropped, but I think it was because people were buying the news. I don't think people are buying the news anymore. People are waiting for things to actually happen now, like the case ending, institutional adoption happening, ISO possibly bringing value to XRP. Today, there was a lot of big news, but no price movement for XRP. And I think now everything that we see for XRP is going to come from actual value. In other words, you get the news and then later you get the value. And that's what I've been saying for a while as well. Analyst says XRP will do a 20 to 50x rally on this bullish signal. I've been saying it as well. I think anybody out there can right now take whatever they're holding in XRP, times it by 10. Because I think we are going to absolutely see a 10x. 20 to 50x is also very possible. A 50x move puts us at above 3 digits. 20x, it's more conservative, also very possible. Because right now, we are on the verge of institutional adoption. Regulations are now coming as well. Plus, we're starting to see the institutions talk about XRP as well. Breaking. The biggest blockchain deal in history. Saudi Arabian oil giant Aramco has just partnered with White and XRP, and the crypto world will never be the same. This could be the largest tokenization move ever made, bringing trillions in real-world assets with the unmatched speed and scalability of the XRP ledger. Now, I read this news and I thought this is absolutely incredible. But I think it's fake news. Nobody has confirmed this. I'm still waiting to see some solid information come out of this. A lot of people are just saying that it was a nonsense post. So that's where I'm going to leave this one right now until we get more facts. Hidden Road launches digital asset swaps prime brokerage. This is big. London, May 28, 2025. Hidden Road today announced the launch of its digital asset swaps prime brokerage capabilities for the U.S. market. U.S.-based institutional clients will now be able to execute cash-settled over-the-counter swaps across dozens of the most prominent digital assets. The new over-the-counter swaps product is offered from the group's FCA-regulated entity, Hidden Road Partners CIV UK Limited. With this launch, Hidden Road will also offer various cross-margining and financing services in digital assets. I like the idea of this because now Hidden Road is taking this global. And again, more expansion means more value for XRP. This is just the beginning. We're going to see so many big moves throughout the rest of 2025. VivoPower International announced on May 28 that it had agreed with investors for a $121 million private capital raise to fund the company's transition into an XRP-focused treasury platform. So VivoPower International is what they're doing is they're creating a reserve, like a stockpile of XRP. So the transaction involves selling 20 million ordinary shares at $6.05 each, exceeding the previous market close of $6.04 each. The Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz led the round. I'm not even going to attempt the rest of that guy's name. The offering included participation from institutional digital asset investors, the investment office of VivoPower chairman Kevin Chin, and other strategic stakeholders. The funds will be used primarily to accumulate XRP and develop infrastructure that supports the XRP ledger for real-world DeFi use cases. VivoPower will also allocate capital to reduce debt and support corporate operations. They even go on to talk about cross-border payments and the friction that they create. So they plan on actually utilizing XRP for its actual use case. And they're creating a stockpile of XRP. These are like those liquidity pools that I've been talking about, where these companies are going to be locking away XRP and using it on a daily basis when sending money. XRP Army is truly global. The CME's XRP futures attract significant international interest, with nearly half of the trading volume occurring outside U.S. hours. In the first 6 days, the XRP futures reached a trading volume of 4,032 contracts, valued at $86.6 million. And this is a futures ETF. Just wait until those spot XRP ETFs go live. I'm expecting a lot of money to pour in. And I think it's going to be more than that $8 billion that Jamie Dimon is predicting for the XRP ETFs. I think you could most likely quadruple that because there is so much demand for XRP. Because everybody knows what it's capable of. Everybody wants to have exposure to it. This comes from Riz. Are we witnessing the 1700 NDA slowly coming alive? And Webus International Limited announces up to US $300 million strategic financing plan for XRP blockchain integration and renews nationwide partnership with Torchin Travel. Again, more institutional adoption. And take notice, establishment of a strategic XRP reserve enabling instant, low-cost cross-border settlements. Development of a comprehensive blockchain infrastructure, including wallets, Web3 loyalty tokens, and on-chain booking records. Acceleration of global expansion initiatives. They also want to utilize it for its actual use case. And that's how they're going to handle cross-border payments for both partners and travelers worldwide. You know, and this is happening in China as well. So think about it like this. We were always talking about those liquidity pools leading to scarcity. Now we're getting the first signs of those liquidity pools starting already. And this is going to continue throughout 2025. More and more announcements like this. So these companies are creating their own strategic reserves of XRP so they could utilize them over time. This will lock XRP away for years. It's not like these institutions are going to say, hey, the price of XRP went up, so we got to sell off this XRP. No, they're going to keep it locked away and always have it on hand for its actual use case. Bitcoin Maxi Ian Carroll says he's learning about XRP. Take a listen to this.
We talk a lot about altcoins as well. Have you ever heard of XRP? Are you familiar with that at all?
I've heard a lot about XRP.
Do you have any thoughts on that? We're a big XRP community.
My thoughts on XRP are, how do I put this shortly? I don't know a lot about it because I haven't done the dive, because my understanding is that there's a relative dive that you need to do to really understand XRP. I know that people from XRP have been telling me, dude, you gotta do XRP like for ages.
That's the army.
And so I'm inherently skeptical of crypto projects that started after Bitcoin, so I apply a lot of scrutiny when I start to learn about them.
Yep.
And I'm of the mindset, like, I'm not trying to be crypto specific.
Yep.
And so I've been very careful about metering my time out to researching different ones. And because I'm not trying to make money off crypto, I'm not trying to make money off of Bitcoin, I'm not trying to make, like, so for me it's like slow, and so I'm still like learning a lot about Bitcoin, learning a lot about Ethereum, and starting to learn the littlest bit about XRP and like various other kind of like the beginning of the altcoin world.
Right.
But I'm also not prioritizing. I'm busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I know our community will appreciate it, and if I can give you a quick synopsis, all it's doing is making money move as quickly as data moves today. So you should be able to send money as easy as you send a text message. That's the ambition behind the XRPL. I want to give you a massive thank you for your time.
I thought that was great how he educated him there at the end. But the Bitcoin Maxis, the problem is they can't see beyond Bitcoin. If they made money off of Bitcoin in the past, they can't see beyond that. But once they start to realize how revolutionary XRP is, and I think a lot of them are waking up to it now. They're starting to see it for what it is. Because you get all these big announcements and you're seeing the adoption happen in real time. And they don't want to miss out on the return on investment that you could get from XRP. I mean, a lot of people are going to make a hell of a lot of money off of XRP in 2025. But if you continue to hold it into 2026, I think that's where you're going to see the real big moves happen. Because if we're seeing them lock away XRP now, you're going to see that happen again and again. And I think a lot of it is also happening in the background without any announcements. You got to remember, there's a lot of NDAs out there. I think a lot of those NDAs are in the United States. And I think that these companies are reluctant to talk about XRP still because the Rippleverse SEC is not completely over yet. That case is still lingering on. We're waiting on the judge still. Now, once the judge comes out and gives a judgment and the SEC makes the public announcement, that will change like an overnight event. All of a sudden, you're going to have banks talking about XRP, companies talking about XRP, buying and locking away XRP. Now everybody seems to want to have a strategic reserve all of a sudden because Trump made strategic reserve trendy, because the U.S. government wants to create a strategic reserve. So that made people sit down and actually think about it for a minute. And they're like, hey, if we lock away this cryptocurrency now at these cheap prices, this is going to pay off later. And that's the way I think the institutions see it. And that institutional adoption is what will lead to mass adoption. But hopefully we start to see some upward movement into the weekend. That would be great to see a great weekly candle close. And I think most people want to see that happen. Right now it's like XRP's been going sideways for such a long period of time with downward movement at the same time. You see it on the 1 month the most. Once we start to break out above $2.60 again, I think that's when we will finally get to a new all-time high. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.